Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Professionals You Should Know. This show's about uncovering the journeys of professionals from different industries. And today, we have the compassionate and resourceful Amara Thomas, who is a occupational therapist. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure for having you on the show. So, what is it that you do?
My name's Omara Thomas, and I'm an occupational therapist.
Okay, so what's occupational therapist?
So, occupational therapy is a non-medical term to providing therapies for people who need that extra support to progress their independence and live meaningful, independent lives. So, it could be through following trauma, illness, or injury. And we also work with people who with mental health, like suffering psychosis, reoffenders and stuff like that. So you'll find us in the prison service as well, the schools, working with pediatrics, teaching. So our field's more about teaching others how to engage with people who may be presented with challenges and also progressing people's independence that may have suffered a decline following injury, illness or trauma.
Okay, and how do you help with the support? Is it through like equipment, adaptation?
Yeah,
like
so
what?
it'll be adaptive equipment. So yeah, you'll try
Okay.
adaptive equipment, major adaptations. It could also be recommending therapy. So it could be where we can recommend carers to come in or rehab assistants to come in and try and get you moving again, or setting smart goals,
Right.
telling us what is meaningful to you, what is living to you, and how can we achieve that following your injury or following your illness or following your mental health challenges. How can we achieve what is living for you? So yeah, so it could be a vast variety of. It's about thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And being creative with your ideas
yeah, I
and
like that.
engaging with your clients, and setting goals, smart goals that you can achieve together. What I like about it is OTs look at the person as an individual holistically.
Okay.
So we look at how whatever it is their challenge is, how it affects their work, their home life, if they've got children, if they've got partners, if they their environment,
Right.
not just the affected area. We look at everything.
Right. And
Yeah.
what to provide like what certain like a equipment that can help them to get back to.
We look at everything and we look at the areas that they may have challenges in, and we try and break down as many barriers as we can. So
Right.
it could be providing equipment, it could be providing opening doors for other services to get involved as well. So it could be
Okay.
acute long-term social care needs.
Okay.
It could be getting dietitians involved. It could
Okay.
be liaising with a lot of other agencies and therapies in order for us to all establish what the common goal will be for that individual.
Right.
So it's not just us. Whatever our report is, a lot of, I don't know if you, whenever we interview or assess anybody,
Yeah.
we always write a report, and that report goes out to all the other agencies who we feel may benefit that individual with overcoming their barriers.
Okay. So why OT? What was your journey?
You know what, when my journey was after having my first son, I was teaching.
Okay.
Yeah, I was teaching, and I found it really challenging having a small child and being a teacher. So I thought, while he's small, I'm going to do like a very flexible job.
Right.
So I went into admin.
Okay.
And then following that, that's when I came across OT. It was working within a mental health outpatient centre.
Okay.
And I was like, who are these OTs? What are they doing? Like, what OTs? And I was always liked the way that they were always so creative what they did, and everyone had to listen to what they had to say, and we can't do nothing without the OT report. And I thought, oh, I want to be important like that. So that's when I went and explored it, and then I volunteered on the wards for a while, got into a volunteering program and volunteered on the wards. And then once I really decided that that's what I wanted to do, I approached my manager. I said, this time I think I was working in this particular job for about maybe 5 years.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to leave and can go and do this course. And they were
Yeah.
like, oh, what course is it? And I explained to them, and they were like, oh, do you know what? We will second you to go and do it.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, it's very rare for them to do that because
Yeah.
it had no relation to my job.
Right.
So it's not like they were doing that because it's part of my role.
Yeah.
It's a completely different job. So I was very lucky to be able to still have my job and still study.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah,
very hard,
I can imagine
very
doing
hard
two things at once.
because,
Plus your
I still had
family. Yeah.
a young child. I worked 2 days a week. I studied 3 days a week.
Jeez.
And and I had to study extra. When you do the part-time course, you have an extra year, isn't it? So it's 4 years in total. So then, and that's how I got here.
And then, so is there like, how are you finding it? And is there any kind of story that reconfirms that, this is actually what I love to do?
Yeah, it's when I was doing my placements,
Right.
I still wasn't sure if I wanted to be an acute therapist or if I wanted to be a community therapist.
Right.
But when I had my community placement, that's when it assured me, because it wasn't just ticking boxes. It wasn't just providing beds available quick in and out assessments. It was working with someone for a long period of time.
Right.
And from doing that, you get to see how your work has influenced them, has enabled them to do better things for themselves, enabled them to progress their independence as much as they can, getting things sorted within their environment so they're more happy about what they want to do and completing tasks themselves. So that's when it really hit me. Said, you know, I really like this, and I know I really want to work community.
Right.
So since then, I've only had community work.
Okay.
I've stayed within the community for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been in the community
Wow.
for 15 years now. Yeah.
And was there one story in particular that kind of always makes you, or always reminds you that, I'm doing a good job?
Yeah, it's there's loads of stories,
of
to be
course.
honest with you. But, I think when I was working with social services,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I was working with a particular family, and being able to, they felt that they weren't being, they felt they were forgotten about, and I think sometimes we forget as professionals how powerful we can actually be when we come in contact with our clients or patients, because them on their own, it's like a fight that they're having to try and get involved with every sort of agencies and services, and it's never the right number, or it's never the right person, and then they just leave it, and then they just become forgotten about. So I think realising what potential you have when you meet with your client, and how powerful you actually are in your profession, in terms of bringing their story to light, allowing others to get involved and sort of get together and get a plan together. And I think that particular family, it was really nice knowing that I managed to get all the professionals involved to try and resolve their issues and help them.
What was the issue?
So it was housing.
Okay.
It was needing certain equipment.
Okay.
It was providing support for their children as well.
Okay.
Because of her illnesses, she wasn't able to care for her children as much as she needed to, and it was about getting her involved with the right agencies and services that can provide that support for them. So it was quite a lot of work that needs to be done. But that's what I liked, is that you can just see the work that you're doing and see it blossom at the end.
Okay.
You can literally see it through. And I think with that particular family, it was nice saying, I like this job.
Yeah, because I didn't know, as you said, you highlighted a point where you said that you report, and then you get all the other agencies involved.
That's right, yeah. So from the report, you can send it to like the GP, or send it to like I said, like the housing. Housing's a really tough one. I find that a lot of clients have trouble with trying to get their voice heard of what they need. So sending it to housing, or sending it to working closely with the police and things like that.
Okay.
So your report says a lot, so you need to make sure it's detailed, it's got all the information that you need for people to act. So I think that was a particular store where everyone got together and we would have, they'll be discussed in the MDTs and stuff like that. So
Wow. Yeah, no,
it's
that's an amazing story, and it shows that you're passionate and
yeah,
you
I
really
am
care. Yeah,
passionate.
it really
I
shows
think
that.
that's what a lot of people say when they meet you. They say, "Oh, when you come, we get a lot of people coming, but with you, you really seem passionate. The way that you lean into your patients, 'cause I always do. I always just lean in and I'm like, tell me what's been happening. Tell me your story. I think the way that I do my assessments is quite different. I don't go there and looking down and ticking the box or filling in this blank form. I go there and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Tell me what's been happening.
Yeah.
And it allows them to just
Open
be
up.
free with what they need to say. When someone's there with a pad and paper, it puts you off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're not going to want to speak or say certain things. So I think, it's nice when people say, "Oh, you're passionate." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Yeah, you care. So I think the type of work where you're working with other people to do better, you can't do that job if you don't care. You've got you've got to have some aspect of empathy. And you've got to want to do that kind of job. So I think
And and I know. Is there anyone in particular, or any people? Is there anyone in particular that appreciates your work? 'Cause I know obviously clients does, but if it could be clients, colleagues, government that really appreciates your work.
That's a tough one because one thing about the profession of OT is still not recognised.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I find a lot of people still ask me, well, "What is that?
Really?
What does that mean? What do you do?
Yeah.
What are you guys?" I don't know if back in the day we used to be the people that used to walk around the wards, getting everyone to make Easter bunny things or cut and paste textiles or something, because no one used to take us seriously until I think there was a great shift in society where we realised that a lot of people were living longer.
Yeah, okay.
But were coming across a lot of issues with their health.
Right.
And I think the one profession that fit in very well with working with those individuals were OTs. Because they take a holistic approach to how we interact, how we provide therapy. So I think from when that shift happened, population living longer, what field, I think they were all scratching their heads up there somewhere saying, what field is it that's going to deal with these kind of people? And I think the one time that we became more recognised is during COVID.
Really?
Because we were the one profession that could fit in very neatly with those sort of clients or patients presenting with the COVID illness.
Right.
Because with COVID, it affects all your activities of daily living. You become somebody who's an able-bodied person to somebody who's disabled. So who's going to help them? And so we were the ones that we were like called upon within that time to do a lot of work. A lot of research went into the type of work that needed to be done. And I think that's when we became to be recognised a lot more. A lot of people out there became to recognise what it is we do. And how important we are as a profession to society. In terms of living longer, aging population, and the diseases and viruses that may start to be born out of the situation that we're in at the moment, such as COVID.
And you touched on like the mental aspect as well. How does your role play a part in that?
Yeah, so working with mental health, we're able to sort of work closely with those individuals and find out what it is actually beneficial to them, what is important to them. Working closely with what are their challenges, how can we provide them support in society? Is it the support that they need to integrate back into society following a psychosis or a period of suffering? So it's where we can work one-to-one on a regular basis, usually over a long period of time, to get them well, to get them doing things for themselves again. So getting them back independent again, and integrating them back into society. Then again, looking at employment, looking at how we can help them into work,
Okay.
ensure that they're managing their medication, ensure that they're managing their self needs.
Right.
So that's where OT comes in, because again we look at the person in a holistic way.
Right.
So we work closely with the
That's organized.
the counsellors and
Okay, psychologists, psychotherapists.
psychologists,
Right.
all of that,
Okay.
we work very closely with them and
Right.
have meetings with them and give them our point of view. I think
Okay.
OTs are very well recognised in that sort of field as well.
Right.
Because from my experience,
Yeah.
they always want to know how that person is getting on from our perspective.
Right.
Because again, we look at their whole life
Right.
in terms of are they managing their ADLs? Are they managing their self-care? Are they managing to eat? Do they know how to operate a kitchen? Do they know how to go out shopping? Because we do all those assessments.
Oh,
So we'll say, right, today we're going to go to the supermarket.
Okay.
We've got a list, yeah. So that's the sort of stuff we do. So we'll go with them to the supermarket. What meal are you going to make today? I'm going to make spaghetti bolognese. Okay, what are you going to need? It sounds babyish, but this is how you get them rethinking again about routine, about money management,
right?
Ensure that they don't become vulnerable to like finance abuse and things like that. Can they go outside and act appropriately? Will they just cross the road randomly?
Okay.
Or are they going to press the button? So all these things we look at
in
in our assessment. Right, he pressed the button. Yep, he's not walking on the curb. No,
right.
He's allowing people to pass.
Okay.
Things like that. So do that all. So when they come and ask us in the MDT,
right.
how is it getting on?
You got more of a handling experience.
That is powerful. How our assessment is very powerful in those areas, especially
I didn't
mental health.
know that.
Yeah,
you know.
so they were like, right, because we can look at safety, we can look at risk.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a risk to himself? Is it going to be a risk to others? Especially when we organise groups within those settings like art groups, therapy, music groups. How are they engaging with the other peers?
Yeah.
Is it becoming aggressive when someone wants to take a piece of equipment or something off them? Or are they engaging? Are they sharing? Are they being appropriate in those sort of roles?
Okay. Yeah, you know
So
what?
OT covers a lot. And
yeah,
again, in the schools, we will help. There's children that suffer with ADHD,
right,
and a lot of autism, and all of those other sort of challenges. So we would help the teacher in terms of how do you engage with those sort of students. So we would help them in terms of writing a plan. Right, when they're doing this, you need to try and encourage them more, or don't have story time for too long.
Right.
Things like that. Give them a separate seat to sit on, or things like that. So we would help them. Also, we would take them out of the class and do some one-to-one work with them.
Right.
Helping them within that sort of environment. So yeah, we do so much.
What about like the other children with like complex needs, for example?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, spinal bifida or the things that are they are.
Like multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, they're physically challenged.
Yeah, so the physical challenges, again, we will come in working with the family.
Right.
There was another story about that actually, where a family was in an housing that was just not appropriate for their child.
Right.
For their issues that they had from birth.
Yeah.
So it's about having adaptations done,
Okay.
appropriate seating, because those children that have like spinal bifida, MS, they need appropriate seating and stuff like that. So
and that's what your assessment does.
Chairs, so we would look at the chairs.
Okay.
We would do the financial assessment to make sure that they're able to get the grant that they need.
Okay.
Yeah, those chairs are so expensive. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brands.
Okay.
They're like electric, and they can adapt to like different things if they want to be sitting up, if they want to be sitting back, or if they need it to go into the schools. We have to look at access and things like that. Yeah.
Right.
So it's a lot of work, a lot of reports. A lot of people don't understand how much work.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Does.
You know.
We do a lot of writing reports. Yeah, and recommending to it. You've got to stay current with what's out there and the resources, like you said, adaptive equipment, major adaptations. You've got to stay current, so you know what to recommend.
And do you work then closely with, I don't know, like architects or like
So again, when I was working with Lambeth, I used to sign off a lot of the properties. So so they would. Well, my manager used to ask me to go because I'm quite good at looking at access and adaptive sort of properties where disabled people can go and live. So it's got to have a certain amount of space for them to access.
Okay.
Are the buttons high enough? Is there turning
So you
space
didn't
in the
even think about
properties?
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the properties, is there enough turning space from room to room? How would their access be? So stuff like that. So I'd go and I'd just jot down what needs to be changed.
Yeah.
And then send my reports back to them, and they would have to change it. They
Oh.
could have everything all made already, and they would have to go back and change it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I used to do a lot of that type of work, which was nice because you get to walk in these new fabulous apartments all day long. I'm just like, I love this job. It's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
we do sign off properties as well.
So because you would never think that makes sense as well, because there's no point of having a property that can't function.
That's right, because
for
people
that
that design them don't
think.
always, they do things backwards.
Yeah.
They would design it and make it, and then they say, "Oh, is it okay?"
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, "No, it's not."
Okay. So the best thing would be for you
to work
and then
closely with them. They do that now, though. A lot of the time, some of the housing associations will get OTs on just for certain projects.
Right.
Yeah, they'll get OTs.
That would make
they
sense.
Won't
Yeah.
stay on board for and work there permanently. They'll just get, if there's certain projects, housing projects, they'll get them involved to try and make sure that they're doing it right in terms of accessibility and meeting the needs of those that may present with challenges. Or
I see. And just we brought up loads of things about certain roles and that I didn't know. But from your point of view, is there any kind of like misconception to the role of OT? I know you said that we don't quite recognise, but
but
is there
people that make Easter bunnies or Easter nests or stuff? We just walk around the ward trying to get people to draw pictures and stuff. No, we're more than that. A lot more than that. I think that was a misconception for many years. Many years. Because I'm not sure if that's what they used to do back in the day, but
so that's the way. Is there any other like a misconception that you've kind of come about?
No, I think like I said, following COVID,
this more recognised.
People more recognise us now.
Yeah,
a lot of people more recognise us because again, we were the only profession, number one, that went out and was working during those periods and doing assessment. A lot of people went on to phone assessments and stuff like that. We can't do that in our job. I need to see how you move.
Right.
I need to see what you can do.
That
I need
makes
to
sense.
see you make a cup of tea. I need to see how you interact. I need to see what your challenges is. Over the phone is very, very difficult to do that. And if I recommend any equipment, I need to go and review it as well. Is this meeting your need or is this not appropriate for you?
Right.
So I think we all I'm not sure about any other professions, but I know from my experience, a lot of other professionals will say, no, we're doing phone assessments, or we're doing it over Teams or FaceTime or whatever.
You couldn't do that.
We had to go out. So I remember my manager having a conversation with us saying, this is like, you don't need to still go out. And I was just, they were like, how do you feel? And I was like, we've got to go.
You have to,
So, and I think from that stemmed the research that, you know what, OTs are best placed for meeting post-COVID challenges for those people who have overcome COVID but are suffering from the long-term issues now. Life-changing, I should say, challenges. So I think if post-COVID time, I just think we wasn't shouted about much. A lot of people just didn't know about us unless they had a car accident. Right.
Pre-COVID. Yeah.
They wouldn't know about us.
Okay. Yeah, because you help, I guess, a
variety
of the strokes. So many different specialities.
Older people. Like I said, schools, pediatric,
prisons.
prison,
all over the place. No, I can see the benefits for
mental health.
for what you guys do. I
Yeah.
didn't realize most of the things that you
Such
just.
a rewarding profession.
Yeah,
man.
I
So
really didn't
rewarding.
realize all the things that you just mentioned, even to the fact to where, about, the shopping and all those kind of things
Yeah, for mental health people, yeah, shopping.
didn't come to mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of people
so.
don't know. It goes a
Alright.
lot of work and it's long-term work.
Yeah,
And things,
yeah, yeah,
it makes such a difference to
yeah,
people's lives.
yeah,
Especially someone who's suffering from mental health who just needs that one person to support them with
yeah,
a routine
yeah,
or managing their money.
yeah,
Or even those people who have offended and they come back out into society, because remember when you're locked up, all your decision making is taken away from you.
yeah.
So then be released into society, you're like, gosh, what do I do?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they tell me when to get up, they tell me when to lie down, they tell me when to go for a
Yeah.
walk, they tell me when to eat. Now you're out in the community, in society, and you having to do make those choices yourself. A lot of people struggle
Okay,
big
you
time,
wouldn't
and then they
see
just
it.
think, you know what, I'm better off in there. They just reoffend. It's safe to them.
Right.
It's a
That
safe
makes
environment
sense.
to them. It sounds bizarre, but that's what happens over
Yeah.
and over again.
You would never think that as well.
They just think, oh, they can't cope.
Mm.
Yeah, they can't cope. So it's about, I think what needs to happen, I done a research paper
Okay.
for where OTs are best fit to stop reoffending.
Yeah.
Because the cycle of reoffending was just phenomenal. Like, people will come out for less than a year and they'll be back in.
Okay.
Why is that?
Yeah.
So my question was like, why does this happen? What is missing? What happens? What's the gap? So I think in bridging that gap, OT is best placed to work with that person.
Right.
Is their property back in that same area of where they were having those issues before? Are they being supported with work? Are their benefits set up? Are they going to be helped with signing with a doctor, or what other support is there for them? So it's like they go out and no one's looking at these areas of where they're having these issues, and they're just left to fend for themselves. So number one, they're back in the area of where they're subjected to drugs, alcohol misuse, or petty crime, antisocial behaviour. Nothing's changing. So you take them out of there and then you put them back in. What has changed? Nothing. So how can we make that change? So the OT, my paper was looking at getting support for OTs to work closely with those who are released from prison.
Okay.
Providing that support, covering those areas of get them a property not in that area, have someone that they can have little hubs located around where they can go to and have their plan written out for them in terms of like helping them with their benefits.
Yeah.
So a lot of them go out and they don't know who to call. The phones change so often.
Yeah.
I knew someone that was in this cycle of reoffending, and when they came out, it's like they were smartphones, and they were like, "What the hell is this?"
Oh, really?
I was like, "You don't know what a smartphone
you
is?"
never think about that.
They were like,
yeah.
"No," they're confused. They didn't know what the smartphone was.
Wow.
So it's like, imagine all those people that come out and things change.
Yeah, so quickly.
Society.
Yeah.
They're lost. They're like, what's going on? What am I going to do? How am I going to get my money? Who do I call to sign? And we're all moving fast like this. Everyone's in their own world. And they just forget those people. So then they just reoffend.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I just always feel that that was an area that needed bridging the gap of having an OT in those fields was supporting them.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm still working on that, trying to get us recognised in that sort of area. I know a lot of OTs work in the prison.
Yeah.
But when they get released, that's where the issue is.
Right.
Yeah. Having that support there. I'm recognised now. I'm working with a new sort of service.
Okay.
So it's like working closely with advanced medical practitioners, where they go out and see people. You know, I was talking about the ageing population.
Yeah.
And getting people well at home instead of people coming into hospital.
Yeah. Right.
So it's a new service that every borough is going to have.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is that instead of an ambulance going out, my sister colleagues will go out. They're the allied medical professionals. They will make sure that the patient can be treated at home.
Right.
They work with them for up to a period of 6 days. And then from then, they may call on us. So I'm the therapy side of it. So I would come there and assess them. If they have, so for example, they're having a lot of falls, or they just become very unwell for unknown reason. So they'll make sure once they're medically optimized,
Yeah.
we'll come in and just look at what we can do as well.
I
So in terms of, like you
see.
said, equipment,
Yeah.
it could be having some rehab, it could be having
Right.
carers, it could be getting social services involved in terms of their property, their accommodation and things like that. So yeah, so that's a new service called Urgent Community Therapy Team.
Urgent community okay, therapy team.
Yeah, so there's urgent community response team.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
And then we're the therapy team, urgent community therapy team.
Right.
So we're starting to get recognised now because I'm getting a lot of calls from like a lot of boroughs and a lot of hospitals saying, "Oh, can you go and check on so and so left here self-discharge, for example." Those people that self-discharge.
Right.
A lot of time they get forgotten about.
Yeah.
So now they can say, "Oh, can you go and have a look and make sure that they're all right?" And we say, "Yep."
Okay.
Or so and so's frame's broken.
Right.
And you go out and see what's happening. Often 9 times out of 10 we go out, there's loads of other things that we need to get involved with. So
and that's to stop them from coming back into hospital.
Stop them going into hospital. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, go into hospital or going back.
Because that's what we want. We're trying to stop people from going into hospital because we find when they go into hospital they decline rapidly.
Yeah.
Than if they're at home and being treated in their own environment. So they say, what did they say? Someone said to me, a day in hospital was like 6 weeks in hospital. 1 day, 6 weeks.
Wow.
For an elderly person.
Yeah,
so that's how rapidly they will decline.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Which is nice, yeah.
Yeah, and I can see the benefits from that. Yeah, I can imagine that, and I can see the benefits from that as well.
I think, we do the whole of Lewisham Borough. Lewisham and Greenwich Borough, because I work for Lewisham and Greenwich Trust. So yeah, we did the whole borough, which is tough.
Yeah, I can imagine because that's quite condensed. Yeah. How many people are you looking at?
We've got a small team, but yeah, it's good because we only do because as long as they're in the Lewisham Borough, we can see them. Like Lewisham GP, we can see them, but it's the whole borough.
Jeez.
So a lot. It's not broken up into little clusters or anything. So, but it can be busy.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah,
I can imagine that.
It can be busy, but it's good.
Okay, all right. No, so, yeah, it makes so much sense. But what we're going to do, we're going to go to another point of the show.
Okay, perfect.
It's called Rapid Fire. It's not rapid, it's just 3 questions.
Okay.
It's either pick a choice or yes or no.
Okay.
For our first question, could 3D printing make it possible for everyone to have their own custom adaptation equipment?
So is this yes or no?
Yes.
I don't know. Yes?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just rapid fire. I'll say yes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Okay, so for our second question.
Okay.
When addressing a patient, do you prioritize functional independence or emotional well-being?
Functional independence.
Okay. All right. So for our third and final question, when seeking moments of self-well-being, what would you rather engage in to fulfill this? Would it be gardening or listening to music? So what would make you more happier? Gardening or listening to me? Okay. Why?
Because I like to see results.
Okay.
I'm weird like that. If I do something, I like to see what I've produced or what I've done. And then look back at it and smile. And then carry on about my day. And then look back at it again and smile.
Okay.
So, whereas music, I don't know, I can't look back and smile.
Okay.
But I think it's because I like to be creative. And gardening allows me to do that. Or it could be a drawing, or it could be putting something together like MDF. Like building something.
It's very practical as well. Yeah.
I like to see what I've done. Like, oh yeah, I've done that
yeah.
sort of thing. Or I built that, or I created that, or I made that. So baking could be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why.
So gardening.
Yeah, gardening.
All right. So for our final questions, in your opinion, where do you feel the healthcare industry will be without OT or occupational therapists?
I think there will be they'll be struggling. I think there will be a big shift with trying to bridge a gap. There'll be a big hole left in the healthcare, and it will be very hard to fill without the OT profession. Mainly because, like I said, of what we do as a profession, and how evidence has proven that us being involved has made differences to people's lives, made differences to services, made differences to the ageing population, saving money where we can, allowing people to just try and be as independent as possible and lead independent, meaningful lives. Whether that may mean that they may need support doing that, or they can do that on their own, but it's having the OT there has realised. I think government, society has realised that we're the ones that can make a difference, a positive difference within society, with the ageing population and how the society is ever changing. We can adapt and fit to whatever needs we need to, and I think COVID showed that as well.
Yeah, no, I can see a purpose for sure. And do you see your profession progressing in any way? So I know you're getting more status now.
Yeah, I definitely see it progressing. Like I said, we're getting a lot more status now. I think eventually we will be prescribing. I think we're going to be used to prescribe.
Medication. Okay.
Yeah, especially within mental health and
right.
the elderly.
Okay.
I think we're going to be going into that. I think we're also going to be helping people travel. So being involved with airlines.
Okay.
Yeah, people with travelling, could be children or older adults.
That makes sense.
People with disabilities. I think we can ensure that their needs are met from when they enter the airport to when they land in their specific locations. So I think we're definitely going to be involved in with travelling. So yeah, prescribing medication, travelling. I think they're definitely areas, and hopefully areas of where people reoffend and get released to stop reoffending.
Yeah.
And so when they get released into society, that we're there as well to bridge the gap with them getting themselves back on their feet and lead independent, safe, meaningful lives.
Yeah. And do you think anything is missing from your profession?
Missing in terms of
like it could be, so there's so many things. It could be status is one of them, money, salary. It could be that
I think the one thing good about people that do the job that we do, we are very creative people.
Right.
We're innovative people. We look at where we can bridge a gap and fill that void. Like I said, the service that I'm in now is an area where they knew there was a gap.
Right.
And OT was best placed to bridge that gap with trying to prevent people going into hospital. So I think in terms of the OT professionals, I think we're very, very innovative. We look at where we can be best, where our skills can be best met. For example, such as, like I keep going back to it, but it was such a big part of all our lives, COVID. We were the profession that everyone called on and said, yes, we need you. So I think, we're good at filling the void of when we need to and bridging gaps.
Right.
And so we're definitely going to be a profession that's going to be needed.
I can see that
in
sure.
many years.
I can definitely see that for sure.
I don't think it's going to be outdated just yet, but yeah.
And touching on like things that could be also missing. It could be diversity. It could be loads of different kind of
I see. So yeah, I think what's harder now for OTs is that it's not a free course, so they've made it so that you have to pay for it now. Yeah. And that's going to hit hard on those who are not able to fund that course. So then you're going to get a certain type of person going into the industry where they are able to self-fund. Where there'll be a lot of people who would make great professionals that
Yeah.
are not able to do that
Right.
because of their circumstances
Right.
or background or other financial issues that they may have. So that's going to be hard. I think that's going to hit hard on our profession. That's going to be a shame.
Yeah.
Because people like
I didn't-
myself may decide not
yeah,
to go
do
do a
into it.
profession.
Yeah.
Go into our profession, which we may lose some good people.
Yeah.
Coming to the forefront, which is a shame.
Man.
Yeah.
And is there any way to find you? Is you know,
Yeah,
because
so
you're
I'm
so
on-
knowledgeable and
I'm on-
caring. Yeah, go ahead. Like,
I'm on LinkedIn.
okay.
As my name.
Mm.
I'm also on Instagram.
Okay.
And and I also got my own company.
Okay.
I'm a director of my own company
Right.
called All Therapy.
Right.
All OT Therapy.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is where you provide going
This
to
is
community
when I
and,
can
and
do private work, so I
Right.
can help with, because the waiting list for OTs, you'll be waiting for years.
yeah.
So again, I can do private work with families that need OT intervention for their children,
Right.
suffering with autism or ADHD. I
Okay.
can write reports, help with therapy goals and set meaningful plans for them, and
Right.
also help with integrating with the schools,
Right.
working closely with the teachers as well. And we also do plans for work with people that need adaptations,
Yeah.
that need assessments for, they may need assessment because they've had an injury,
Right.
and they may need recommendations put in place to help them interact with all the other services. So it's just helping them bypass that waiting list period. So
Right.
so there's not an assessment or a report that we can't get involved in.
Right.
So
No,
that's my company. Yeah.
that's amazing. I definitely would advise everyone to at least check her out,
Yeah,
you know.
Definitely.
But
Thank you.
it's been
Much appreciated.
absolutely amazing. All the knowledge that
been
you've
fun
been. Oh
talking.
man,
I
I'm
forgot
telling you, yeah,
how bad I
yeah. I'm saying-
Someone said to me, "You like what you do?
Yeah,
you
you
took a
can
long
do
time
it.
with what anything to do with OT. I could talk your ears off. If you asked me something else, I wouldn't be able to help you. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
No, I love what I do.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
you
and
can
I'm
tell.
passionate about
Yeah,
what I
you
do.
can really tell. That's what I'm saying.
Making a difference.
Yeah. So it's absolute pleasure having you here.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for your knowledge and your experience.
Thanks for shining some light on some occupational therapy.
Yeah, no.
It's gonna get everyone googling what we do now. So it's
Yeah,
nice.
and thank you all for watching.